This is my presentation, Overcoming Blogxiety. So you finally start making money from your blog. Thank you to Travelpayouts for inviting me to be here. I'm excited to share with you guys what I know. So let's dive in. As Chris just said, I'm a multiple six-figure travel blogger, but I really don't want to talk too much about me. I want to talk about you guys. So you want to know the secret to blogging success? Of course, there probably are many secrets to blogging success, but one of the ones that I really credit with my blogging success is this: post a lot of good quality content on a regular basis. So when Travelpayouts invited me to speak about blogxiety, I realized that that's a big thing that gets in the way of bloggers continuing to post content, because that's what a blog is. It's really just a collection of content. So if you're not doing that, you're kind of not blogging. So what prevents bloggers from posting consistently? Of course, blogxiety. But that survey that was mentioned already from Travelpayouts breaks down exactly what different bloggers say contributes to their blogxiety. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But I loved this. It's totally normal to feel blogxiety. I feel it. Every blogger feels it. 68% of travel bloggers say they experience symptoms of it. The only thing shocking to me about that number is that it's not 100%, truthfully. So you're not alone. I'm right there with you. So we're going to get into some of my secrets to consistent posting. And I'm saying this in spite of blogxiety. I'm not here to cure it for you. I can't do that. But we can keep working in spite of those feelings. We don't have to let those feelings of anxiety and blogxiety, let it be the end all, the be all end all. So here's what we're going to be talking about in the presentation: how to stop comparing yourself to other bloggers, social media and why you might want to get off of it ASAP. That's a side note. How to overcome writer's block. These are taken directly from the Travelpayouts survey of responses from travel bloggers of what contributes to their blogxiety. So I was really inspired by that survey. So here's the first thing: comparing yourself to other bloggers. This was the #1 thing mentioned in the Travelpayouts survey that most people say is really, hindering them when they're seeing the success of others. And as Chris mentioned, you can use people's success as motivation. So in case you needed permission to not compare yourself to others, here's Oprah. This is an Oprah quote: "You don't have to do what everyone else is doing." So keep that in mind. This is Marie Forleo, author of a book that I really love called Everything is Figure Outable. She tells you to put down the compare schlager. If you've ever heard of the drink Goldschlager, that's the play on words that she's doing here. So put down the compare schlager. And then Theodore Roosevelt, who has a really famous quote on this subject, that comparison is the thief of joy. So beyond blogxiety, comparison transcends that. It's not just us bloggers that are like bogged down by comparison. This is a big meta topic. So here's 3 tips that I have to stop comparing yourself to other bloggers. The first is really just like a hard stop: unfollow triggering content. So if you know and I just learned this expression, if you're hate following someone, unfollow them. It's really not healthy for you. It's contributing to your blogxiety, in fact. So that's just really a decision you kind of have to make for yourself. Tip 2 is to use a website blocker. I'm going to show you what that is. And then tip 3 is to do something from your easy task list. The easy task list is going to come up a couple times in this presentation. I'll show you what that is in a minute. So blogxiety.co is just one of the options you have for a website blocker. It's a website itself, but it's also a free Chrome extension. And you can use it to physically block yourself from being able to go to certain sites. You can block them forever. You can block them for certain times. So, you're not allowed to, scroll Instagram or TikTok during working hours, let's say, because as bloggers, you become an entrepreneur and you have to essentially be your own boss. So you might have to police yourself. And if you do, that's totally fine. Someone didn't invent this Chrome extension because this isn't a problem a lot of people have. It's clearly something that affects a lot of people. So blogxiety.co is just one that I recommend. There's definitely others. So this is the easy task list. This is my easy task list. You can steal it, you can make your own. But these are things that are quick wins for me. So when I'm really not in the best headspace, I want to do something that's a quick win for myself so I can feel good quickly. So keyword research is something that I like to do. If you use key search like I do, they have that great function with lists. So you have your lists of keywords, and you just, you have that list ready. So when you want to write a blog post, your keyword research is already done. You don't have to spend any time doing that. Tip 2, spell check your posts. That's a quick win. Do some alt text in the photos. I think that's a task that a lot of bloggers don't like doing, myself included, but I know it's a quick win when I actually do them. Do a collab post where you're just really writing a paragraph or two and getting a backlink from it. If you've never heard of this, there are Facebook groups rather for collab posts, and internal linking. It's really good practice for SEO, so a quick win for yourself. You can see here on this that there's a box to the left of like keyword research and all the things on the list for you to actually put a check mark. This really does signal to your brain like a victory. You don't have to do anything as fancy as this. You could just literally write a list on a piece of paper and cross things off as you're done. But again, this signals a quick win to your brain. So there's 2A and 2B. When I saw the Travelpayouts survey responses that said social media is a huge source of blogxiety, I wasn't really sure if people meant that like that social media exists was what causes their anxiety, or that bloggers feeling like they have to do social media, have to manage multiple platforms. So I did a 2A and a 2B, so I can try to address both. This is the dopamine cycle. If you've never heard of it, this is not for me, this is from psychology. So what happens is you go onto social media, then you perform an action like writing a post or posting a photo. Then you wait for a reaction. And when that reaction comes, the reward center in your brain is triggered and the dopamine cycle completes. But what's the only way to then keep that momentum going? It's just to keep posting on social media. So you're kind of stuck in this cycle. I have 3 tips for breaking the cycle. The first one is literally deleting the apps from your phone and or blogxiety.co, which I showed a couple slides back, that free Chrome extension. So you physically cannot go to the sites. Doing something from your easy task list, like I mentioned, putting a check mark next to something or crossing something off the list gives your brain that same hit of dopamine. And the third thing I want to show you is what's called the Pomodoro technique. If you've never heard of Pomodoro, I didn't make this up, this is a proven technique. It's a time management method where you work really, really focused for 25 minutes. And then you break that up with a 5-minute break. So if you're like, I have to check my social media, I don't care what you're saying, that's okay. Do your 25 minutes of work and then take your 5-minute social media break. I've seen other time divisions for Pomodoro, but what I've always heard is that this 25-5 is the most effective way to do it. So yeah, get your 25 minutes in and then take your 5-minute break. If that has to be social, then it has to be social and it's all good. So here's another free Chrome extension, Focus To Do. I love this one. You can see it has 5,875 star reviews, 500,000 users. So this is a big one, but there are plenty of Pomodoro timers that you can just add to your Chrome browser, or I think it works on other browsers too. And it's going to just do the timer for you. So you don't even have to think. You just hit a button when you're in your 25 minutes of work, and then it's going to alert you when you can take your 5-minute break. It's going to count that 5-minute break for you, and then it's going to reset. So great way to keep yourself on track. 2B, I don't know if all bloggers know this, but you do not have to do social media. I'm a multi-6-figure blogger, and I do 0 social media. And when I tell people that, they're like, okay, but like what social media do you do? I'm like, no social media. I do the opposite of social media. I do no social media at all. So if you haven't already, take a step back and ask yourself, do I even need this? There are plenty of successful bloggers not using social media. It's not just me. So here's something I don't think a lot of people really think about, but this is why I encourage you to take that step back and ask yourself if you need it. As a blogger, I think you need one thing, and that's a blog, right? If we don't have a blog, we're probably not a blogger. But as an influencer, you need social media. So just, a good question to ask yourself, like, where do you fall in this? Are you trying to be a blogger or are you trying to be an influencer? You can be trying to be both. That's totally also fine. But if you're a blogger and you're just like, I'm like me, I'm like, I am a blogger. I am not doing social. So all I need is my blog, just in case you weren't sure if you must do social. So this is also from the Travelpayouts survey. Writer's block was a big cause of blogxiety for a good number of bloggers. So we're going to talk about that as our last topic in my presentation. So I started looking into writer's block, and I found this really great article on Inform ED. You can see the URL there at the bottom of the screen. It's called The Psychology of Writer's Block and How to Overcome It. One of the things that they say contributes to writer's block is self-criticism. And I thought that was so curious because the first kind of topic in the presentation here was the comparison and, you know, comparing your work to that of others, especially more successful bloggers. So I found this article really fascinating. I have 6 tips for you for unblocking your writer's block. This is my mantra when I'm blogging: progress, not perfection. There's no such thing as perfection. We're just trying to make some progress. So don't expect the world, just expect yourself to get something done, and then you'll get something done. Tip 2 is stop trying to write. If you have writer's block that's just overwhelming, stop trying to write. Do something else. I recommend the easy task, or get up, go outside, take a walk, something like that. Make yourself a snack, maybe drink some water. Just stop trying to write for the minute. Like, stop putting that much pressure on yourself. Tip 3 is writing just the post outline. So you're not committing to writing an entire post. You're just doing the outline. So you're not actually writing, but you're still getting something done. So tip 4 is meditate and visualize yourself writing. You do not have to become a master yogi or anything here. Just literally close your eyes and picture yourself typing on the computer. It does trigger something in your brain, and it could help start the writing process. Another thing is called free writing, and it's where you're writing, you know, in this case, in this example, you want to write anything but a blog post. So literally start writing gibberish if you want. Just put words on paper or type, doesn't really matter. Write about the worst day of your life. Write about the best meal of your life. Write about where you want to be in 5 years. Anything that's not the actual blog post that you're trying to write. So this can really start like flexing those muscles of writing, but not putting pressure on yourself to come up with an actual blog. And the last thing is what I call post topic clusters. I teach people about affiliate marketing. So this example, it comes from affiliate marketing. So let's say you have a post, and a lot of bloggers have these posts, even if you're not like actively affiliate marketing, but like best tours in, I'll use the example of Paris. Hotels also work in this example. So let's say you have a best tours in Paris post. Go into that post, take a look at the content that's in there. I'm going to assume if this is just a general post roundup for you, you probably have a food tour. You probably have a walking tour, a boat tour, a bike tour, a nighttime tour, like a really great day trip, maybe to wine country or something, or one of the many France wine countries, and see if you can kind of take inspiration from content you've already made. So you're not really reinventing the wheel. So when you go into that post, I'm going to assume, yeah, you probably have 1 or 2 or more food tours in Paris. That's a huge thing in that city. So see if you can take what's already there and expand and make a standalone post on food tours in that city. So the good thing about affiliate marketing is that you're also making money along the way with these posts. So this is a really great tip on how to scale your income. So that is affiliate post topic clusters. If that sounded interesting to you, please head to travelblogging101.com. That's my blog about blogging. I have 5 blogs. It's hard to keep up sometimes. But the first thing you're going to be greeted with on that page is my freebie. And it's a video on the 5 best affiliate marketing programs for travel bloggers. If you haven't started affiliate marketing yet, it's a great way to start. And yours for free.